So, and welcome to India's webinar on awareness session, that is 𝐶IA Challenge Exam Awareness Session. And I'm just introducing our eminent speaker, Mr. Dr. 𝐾𝐚𝐮𝐥 is fellow chartered accountant, rank holder. He has DIRM from ICAI, certified in risk and information system control, C-risk from Ishaka, completed FOIA Australia, and PhD from Madras University, 𝐏𝐚𝐮 from Madras University, and he's Director IT and RMS, Information Technology and Risk Management Service at Messrs. CNK and Associates LLP Chartered Accountant, Independent Director at Panasonic Carbon India Company Limited, and his vast experience of work in IT field, risk advisory, consultancy, and compliances. So over to you, sir.
Yes, thank you, Angel, for the introduction. Welcome to all the participants. Today, we'll have a quick session on the 𝐶IA Challenge exam. And then if you have any questions, you can ask me at the end. I'll definitely answer all of them. Now, before we start off with the questions, now, throughout the world, there are global bodies which certify knowledge. Now, that's why they're called certification. Now, we have a lot of bodies which do like information systems, internal audit, maybe computer security, insurance, project management, and so on. Now, these institutes take people who already have the knowledge but lack formal education and give them this certification. They conduct an exam. Now, what we have seen in our country is, since we do a lot of work for global enterprises, and India itself has become a very powerful economy and a large player in the world's trade, and also the money markets, I mean, both banking and non-banking money markets. Today, the requirement for some stamp of approval on our knowledge is also becoming important in specialized areas. One of the specialized areas is the internal audit, where the internal audit traditionally was focused only on financial audit, which again, the external audit more or less kind of went through. Today, the internal audit is much more than that. It has now become operational audit. It has become risk management. It has become project management. It has become governance and good practices, which we call as corporate governance and IT governance. So internal audit has kind of widened. The term internal audit has become very wide. It now includes a lot of other skills. Now, the Indian Institute of Internal Auditors, of course, not called Indian Institute, it's called Institute of Indian Internal Auditors India, has taken up, and of course, the IAA Global also has agreed to it. And for the last few years, they have been conducting an exam specifically for certain categories of qualified people. Now, one of the categories, in those categories, one of them is the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. The original exam was in 3 parts. Part 1, which dealt with the governance and code and ethics. Part 2, which dealt with planning the audit, scheduling, actual execution, reporting. Part 3, which dealt with accounts and tax. And also it dealt with project management. It dealt with a little bit of information technology and so on. Now, as for the IAA Global, which went through the syllabus of the various institutes, they have given special exemption. for the most of the institutes, they have removed the accounting and the tax portion, which was found in part 3 of the regular exam. So the CIA challenge exam, a new name, challenge exam was coined, which conducts the exam in one sitting, which includes part 1, part 2, and specific parts of part 3. So everything is clubbed together. It's a single exam. You do it in one sitting, and you will get a regular CIA qualification. Though it is called a challenge exam, it is not, nowhere in the certificate will it say challenge exam. It's a regular exam. Challenge meaning specific categories of candidates are allowed to write this in one sitting as one single portion instead of 3 separate exams, with a small change in the syllabus. As I already told you, they have removed the taxation and the accounting part of it. Now, we need to understand all these exams, certification exams, and particularly CIA, Certified Internal Auditor exam, is a multiple choice examination. So one of the things we always tell the students is practice as many questions as possible and answer the questions within 1 minute, because that's all the time you have. So you got to get the answer in 1 minute, and then as we progress, we'll also see, since there's no negative marking, you can leave the questions for which you don't know the answer, mark it as review, finish the questions for which you know the answer, come back to the questions you marked as review, see if you can still find an answer, then answer it. And finally, there will be some lot of questions for which we don't know the answer. It doesn't matter. Use your intuition or your guessing capabilities and answer it, because there's no negative marking. Leaving a question blank is a 0. Wrong answer is also a 0. So better to get a 0 from a wrong answer. Now, the challenge exam will be conducted at regular intervals. It's not just once a year, it may be twice a year, depending on how many candidates have enrolled. The more candidates who enroll, the more frequently the exam is conducted. And this exam is conducted by the American body. It's a incorporated body in the US. It's in Florida. It's called the Institute of Internal Auditors. It's a global certification. And those who pass the certification can work anywhere in the world. They can also sign, but except in India, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka, we cannot sign because they're acts of parliament. All over the rest of the world, by passing a local exam for tax, they can sign statements. So many of the Indian students find jobs in the Gulf. And of course, in Europe and North America and many parts of Africa and South America recognize an internal auditor only if they have an IIA certification. That's a CIA qualification. Now, eligibility for the CIA exam, I told you there are some bodies which have been specifically singled out, and those members have been given the concession of writing the whole exam in one part rather than 3 parts. So we have the various names here. We have the Certified Public Accountants, ACCA, and so on. The 4th point, not the 4th one, but as we come down, we'll come to the 9th point, the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. That is exempted. You need not go through the 3-part exam. You can directly write the single part exam. Or if you are also CISA, Information System Audit exam, you can do the same thing, take the challenge exam. Or if you're an ACCA, that also when you're eligible to take the single exam. So out of these 18 commonly found in India, maximum will be CAs. Then we have the CISAs, and then we have the ACCA. Now, if you have passed the accounting exam, can you become a member, etc.? Now, you have to be an active member of these bodies, because there are many CAs who have passed the exam but have not paid the registration and the membership fees to the CA Institute or the ACS Institute, or not ACS, ACCA, or any of the other institutes, as it is ISACA. You have to be an active member at that point of time when you want to take advantage of the challenge exam. So you have to be an enrolled member. Then how do you prove that you are an enrolled member? You can either send a copy of the CA certificate, or you can take the snapshot from the portal of the CA Institute and then send it. That's sufficient proof. Then you're a cost accountant, etc. What are so many other qualifications? They have not yet been considered for the challenge exam. So as of now, with the 3 Acts of Parliament members, ICAI, the Costing Institute, and the Company Secretaries Institute, only the Chartered Accountants Institute is recognized for this challenge exam. Now, can existing CA students take the challenge exam? Now, you have to be members of one of those 18 institutes which are mentioned. If you are not a member of any of these, then unfortunately you have to take the 3-part exam. There's no concession. Or if you have already registered for the 3-part exam and now want to change to the challenge exam because you have the eligibility, you can't do that. So you either go with the 3-part or pay your exam fees afresh and write the CAA challenge exam, which is 1 exam. Then for uploading the registration and whatever has to be done for the exam, it's like any other KYC, government ID, which is your Aadhaar card or whatever, that's more than sufficient. And so for the second bullet in point 11 will tell us that we can use any identification, driver's license, Aadhaar, Indian passport, etc. Okay, now this is fine. There are 2 things now. One, we have to prove that we are from India. Second, we have to prove that we are a member of one of those 18 organizations. Then we are definitely eligible to write this 1-part exam. There is a thing called a character reference. Now, see, there is in fact, the first part in the original 3-part was.
Sorry for the
Yes.
Yeah, the character reference has removed since last exam, sir. So we need to upload the update the PPT for challenge exam. They are not asking for character reference.
They're not asking for
character reference.
Okay.
Yeah.
So again, I think then we'll skip that. You don't need that. You can go straight ahead. This is not necessary. Okay, what the character reference was they will write to somebody you know. I mean, you will have to give the name, your boss or your colleague or someone, and they'll have to say that ethically you're okay. But anyway, since the requirement is gone, you can drop it. Then registering for the challenge exam, there are links here for the members, and okay, basically what it says is, if you're a member of the IIA, then you get a slightly reduced fees. Whereas if you are not a member of the IIA, your fees is a little higher. So I would suggest that you all become members of the IIA and take advantage of the lower fees. I'm just looking at the financial aspect. The fee is about 5,000 if you're a fresh member, 4,000 something if you are renewing. That gives you a fairly decent reduction in fees for the exam. And of course, the exam fee is only for 1 attempt. For any reason, I want all of you to prepare well and clear the exam. But for any reason, if you haven't cleared the exam, then additionally, you'll have to pay $500+, which I think you can avoid. You can prepare well and clear the exam. So we have the fees here, which is all in US dollars. You can see the difference for an IIA member and a non-IIA member. And also you must understand for IIA India members, the fee is very low. It's new members about 5,000 something plus rupees. And for a existing member renewal is 4,000 plus rupees. So by paying that amount, you can straight away make use of the discounted price which is given, that $800 or $900 on the first row, IEA members. If you are rewriting the exam, which I definitely would wish you all the best and practice well and pass the exam, you don't have to rewrite again. Then for the others fees, of course, the CISA holders and all, it's different. Now, the fees has to be paid fully. I mean, it's a complete online payment. You have to do it in one stroke. But IIA India had entered into some agreement with the Bank of Baroda for financing. So if for any reason a member, particularly young members who don't have money, they just want to get some financial aid, it's a loan you can take from the Bank of Baroda. Then there is no question of challenge. I'm sorry, no question of refunds for the challenge exam. In fact, there's no refund in any exam, not just IEA. Even if you're paying for any of the other institutes like CISA, ISAC, or any of the others, there's no refund. So that is a common point. So make sure you pay the fees and indicate your preference for the slot, exam slot correctly. If you decide not to go ahead, you won't get your money back. And the concession, if you see again back to the top of the slide, you can see the first row, CAI challenge exam, $896. That's about $900. That's the lowest you can get. So they have given a substantial, very good fee for the Indian members, the IEA India members. Now, once I already told you about the IEA membership. Now, fees for this is 1,500 one time and that 4,000 annually. Of course, you have to pay plus GST. You can become a member, and they're also working on a concept where if it's approved by IEA Global, you don't have to pay April to March. Whatever date you pay, till one day before that, the next year, your membership will be valid. Now, what are the benefits of becoming an IEA member? You get access to the global website where you get a lot of material which you can download and use for your audits. You can update your skill sets. You get access to PDMs, seminars, conferences at a reduced fee. In some chapters, the PDM is free. In some all the conferences, seminars, you definitely get a reduced fee. There are benefits other than just the challenge exam. Then challenge exam cost and the 3-part CA cost, you don't have to compare, because if you're already a member of one of those 18 organizations or institutes, you can finish the challenge exam. It's a one sitting, one stroke exam. So it's all completed. Then you also, if you see that 18, the last bullet, the challenge exam fee includes an application fee, registration fee, and a small examination, like study material, examination package. And you also get an online access to a set of questions which they have put up, sample questions, which will help you to prepare. Now, the loans, as I already told you, they have made some arrangements, but you could probably make your own arrangements at a cheaper finance rate if it's available. But the point is the exam fee is already the lowest globally. So reducing it further from the $900 plus our 5,000 rupees Indian registration fee as membership, that's about the lowest if you compare any other foreign professional body. Now, how do you prepare for the exam? Is there a material? A bundle is given to you. You can also voluntarily or optionally buy training material by 𝐏𝐚𝐮 or 𝐈𝐈𝐀 or any of the other publishers. You can also join any institution, a coaching center which gives you the coaching. We have what are called the authorized learning centers, the IIA has identified different learning centers across India, Delhi, Bombay, Chennai, got Hyderabad, Bangalore, etc. Have a look at those also. So with the material and question bank access, you have almost everything you need to get started with the studies. Then you have, there are 2 web links, you can just go through them. Then are there any classes available? Now, Bombay has a class. We also have learning centers, authorized learning centers, authorized by the IIA India. So you can join any of those authorized centers if you want a classroom kind of coaching. You can also look at the customized CIA learning system. Once you paid your fees, you're cleared, you will get access to that. So there is not much of a problem with that. Since everything is online, you don't have to worry yourself about material and question bank and so on. Then syllabus for the CIA exam. There is a question on this Bombay classes at Bombay, online or offline. You'll have to check because they have both. I'm sure I know they have both. You can either go to the learning center.
As of now, it's virtual, sir.
That is that IIA Bombay chapter is virtual.
Yeah.
But learning partners may be conducting physical
They have,
classes.
as of now, they are also doing the virtual.
Virtual, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe the number of students is not sufficient. But as and when, if there is a corporate training inquiry, I'm sure they would consider a physical training. I mean, if you have the numbers, I'm sure they would consider. Feel free to write the IIA India for a learning partner list or whatever. You can make best use of the chapters and audit clubs and the IIA India. The syllabus, of course, they're given a link, but I'll tell you what the syllabus is. It's pretty straightforward. You have the code of ethics and the IPPF standards, International Professional Practices standards, which is like our internal audit standards. That's part 1, which is now part of your challenge exam. Part 2 is how do you conduct the audit, the various processes you go through, the planning, the execution, reporting, exiting, etc. And the third part is, of course, we do the project management, leadership, a bit of information technology and all that. All 3 put together is the challenge exam portion. Not very difficult, but needs sustained and very devoted study. You can easily do it. So that kind of brings us to our thing here. So, okay, there is a question which says you have tried to contact details, but you could not reach out. Absolutely no problem. You can check the Bombay chapter website or Delhi chapter website. I'm sure we can do that. So maybe Chanchal can type his phone number or Mana's number here. So definitely it's accessible. You can also look at the IIA India website, and you can also look at the chapter websites. You will definitely get it there. So I mean that part I can definitely assure of. Is there anything else which you would like to know? Okay, that's what we said. Now, when you're applying for the membership, the exam, you don't need that reference certificate. That has been waived for ICAI members. You don't need it. It's just proof of membership is sufficient. You may not get a printed version of the study material. It's all online. You can read it, but access will be there for some time. So that will be for some time. Where can I see the exam syllabus and exam pattern? It's all there on the web link which you just saw. In fact, that page is open right now. No, it will not vary for CISA and CA. I mean, CA students. There's only one challenge exam, only one syllabus, so that's the same.
So, sorry, sir. CISA has some different
Yeah, that is
syllabus.
only small part. They will include
Yeah,
accounts there.
yeah. There
For
is
us,
a
IT is included. But going to the old questions, there may be a slight overlap, but that's okay. You can just check the syllabus out. Not much actually. It's because the third part is the only part where they make the changes. First and two, I'm talking about the three part and the challenge. What is there in the first and second of the three part remains intact. Only the third part, there are some changes when it comes to the single integrated challenge exam. Then it's asking for a good standing certificate. I think, Chanchal, you'll have to answer. If it is waived, then it should not ask for that. The requirement for the good standing certificate, you'll have to, I think we can sort that
no.
issue
It's
out.
a it. They are asking for 2-3 things. So we can skip the good standing certificate there, and we can upload the trace a member certificate instead of that. There
Okay,
is a
okay,
two
fine.
three thing.
So that should answer the question of now Teja was asked. You can skip that good standing and just upload your membership proof. That is enough. Is there anything else you would like to know? School. Okay, I think Chenchal will have the answer for when is the exam being conducted. I think it's in 24, early 24. Chenchal, is that right?
Yeah, within 180 days of registration, candidate need to attempt for the exam for first attempt. So for this window, there is two exam window. One is in November, another is in Feb. So if someone is already prepared, they can go for the November. If someone is taking time, then they can apply for the Feb one. So as of
February
now,
24.
November window is open. You can wait for the Feb window for scheduling the exam. There is no need to schedule the exam right now. You can schedule later also.
Yeah, scheduling will be done through that PSN view, which you can do at your convenience. So if you want to schedule later, you do it. If you want to schedule earlier, you do it. That's fine. Then we have this time gap between registration and the earliest exam attempt. That's what just now Mr. Chenchal has told us. You can either register now and take the November exam, or November 23, 2023, or you can schedule an exam for February 2024. The mandatory gap is actually it is your decision how quickly you can get ready for the exam. But as I told you, the fees are pretty high, $900 and so on. So my suggestion is prepare well before you actually take the exam. So it's a lot of money, so you could prepare well. See, minimum study hours depends on how much you're able to absorb. But I would put it this way: if you're an experienced person, don't use your experience in the exam. Just stick to the rules of the material or the content in the material, because see, this is a content which is used by North America and Europe. Most of it is based on their standards. if we apply any practical knowledge of what we do in internal audit in India, we only end up confusing ourselves regarding the answers. If you're in the challenge group, you can see the questions I keep posting. They are typical exam questions. So what I would strongly suggest is my estimate is you need at least, Institute says 40 hours IAA, but I suggest you spend at least 60 to 100 hours dedicatedly to work on this, because you have to get the speed of less than 1 minute per question, and you should not apply anything other than what the IAA has given you, the IPPF, the code, only that. So you clear the exam with flying colors. Is there anything else? I don't see any further questions. Okay, if there are no other questions, feel free to reach out to any IA chapter. It's there on the web page. You can talk to IA India. You can. Okay, when I've got a question called study material composition. The study material which is given as part of the bundle is a single material. And for challenge exam, I'd suggest to study it as a single entity. That is ethics and governance standards, the audit process procedures, and whatever we have got from the third part, that is a leadership, project management, and so on, information technology, and so on. So the weightage you can get from the website, from the various modules. But see, the thing is, if I strictly say a question is on ethics, that question can be asked as something which you're doing when you're evaluating a control in the execution phase of the audit. So in a question like that, whether it goes to ethics module or it goes to the execution module is very difficult to clearly say. So what I would suggest is, even though there is a weightage, you study everything thoroughly, because it's a little, because it's a multiple choice. A question can be from one topic, and the 4 answers can be from 4 different topics. I mean, that's very rare. Such a difficult question is rare, but maybe the question is from one topic, answers are from a different topic. So that's why don't break up into percentages and study that way. No, you can't print the material because of this copyright and other requirements, but there are a lot of questions available. You can get from online. Maybe you could buy, okay, some Xerox shop may have it, or you can take it from friends who have already written the exam, or any of these coaching centers. I mean, there are a lot of places you could get the material, but the official material you cannot print.
So requesting everyone to kindly share your valuable feedback. And if you have any question, you can contact me at 9205169309. And my email ID is coordination@iiaindia.co.
So if there is no other question, can we wind up?
Yeah, sir, we can close it.
Okay, okay. And thank you all the participants for attending. Please contact Mr. Chanchal, IA India, for any questions you have. Definitely it will be answered. And I wish you all the best for the exams. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thanks everyone for joining the
Welcome.
session.
Thank you, Chanchal. Thank you for organizing everything. Thank you.